Part 42. The Age of Rebirth, the fake daughter relies on cultivation to become bigger and stronger. Author, Laughing Charm. Chapter 411. Chapter 411, 411, no message sent. It's okay, it's okay. I don't count on this anymore. Just don't hang around in front of my eyes anyway. The second aunt has no hope for the marriage between her eldest son and her second son. She only hopes that the younger son can gain some momentum in the future so that she can watch it in her lifetime. Then see the birth of the next generation. But think about the younger son's increasingly unreliable appearance and childlike personality. What girl can't bear it? Forget it. If raising a child is so tiring, just experience it 3 times. The next generation will not be the same. Don't have such high hopes. You and Auntie, you should eat and drink at home. It's okay for the 6 of them to go out. Now there are supervisors stationed in the country, so there is no problem with safety. Shen Yun smiled and pushed people into the house. Okay, it just so happens that the naughty ones are not at home anymore, so I'm enjoying myself too. The second aunt agreed with a smile. Shen Yun comforted the people and sent a message to several people explaining the matter. Safety must be the first priority. The strength of several people is not low. The spirit gathering array set up on the mountain of the Shen family, and the spiritual veins dug on the island were also placed on their own mountain. The spiritual energy on the mountain is much stronger than that outside. They are on the mountain. After practicing for such a long time, coupled with the blessing of elixirs at home, no matter how strong he is at least a little more powerful than most people outside. As long as he doesn't act stupid, safety is not a problem. After finishing the explanation, Shen Yun went to talk to his grandparents for a while, and then talked to his parents for a while, and then went back to practice in seclusion. Although the cultivation level in the early stage of yuanying has been stable, it is not known when the middle stage of yuanying will be. Shen Yun felt an inexplicable sense of urgency in his heart, especially after the appearance of Yao Yang. I don't know if he wanted to take away the golden dragon or for some other reason. Shen Yun did not delve into the reason. He just started practicing quickly after the matter was completed. This practice lasts for 1.5 months. Feeling the abundant spiritual energy in his body, Shen Yun nodded with satisfaction. Although his cultivation level had not advanced, he had improved a lot. Sister, you are finally out of seclusion, look at me. As soon as Shen Yun went out, he met Jin Long outside. Shen Yun heard the sound and looked towards him, but he couldn't see through it. He couldn't see through his cultivation at all. You have been promoted again. What level are you at? I have just advanced to the stage of becoming a god, Jin Long said with a little pride. Chen Yun's eyes widened in shock. In the same month and a half, he had not made any progress. He was directly promoted from the middle stage of nascent soul to the stage of transformation. He was still cultivating in space. He spent several times more time than others. Compared with other people, infuriating. No, it's a phoenix, a mythical beast. The sun's fire is really powerful. Your cultivation is like riding a rocket. Shen Yun was so envious that he wanted to fish out the little goldfish in the lava right now, but thinking about the 5-clawed golden dragon burning Cheng Hui's warning made Shen Yun calm down again. I have been refining day and night for this period of time, and finally I have achieved results. It is not easy. Jin Long felt a little embarrassed when he heard Shen Yun say this. These words made Shen Yun even more upset. Who doesn't practice day and night? Promotion is a good thing. No matter what, it is good to have results. Now that you have reached the stage of becoming a god, I feel safer, Shen Yun said with a smile. Don't worry, sister, I'll cover you from now on. Jin Long patted his chest and said. It's up to you, Shen Yun said with a smile. I hope you can keep me company until you leave. By the way, uncle, I didn't come out with you, Shen Yun asked curiously when he saw that there was nothing on Jin Long's neck. Didn't I buy him a lot of books last time I went out? He was reading in the treehouse. Jin Long was embarrassed to tell Shen Yun what books he bought. He had clearly agreed to buy chemistry-related books, but this was no longer the case when he arrived. He bought 2 large stacks of novels and he was obsessed with them. Apart from practicing, he read those books every day. He stopped following them when he went out. Shen Yun nodded. He really didn't expect that a divine beast would be so studious and powerful. If the information is not complete, you can go to Beijing next time. There are more books in the bookstore there, Shen Yun reminded. Okay, let's wait until he has finished reading these. Jin Long nodded and did not continue the topic. The two of them walked towards the valley together. As soon as they arrived in the valley, they were surrounded by their family members. Shen Yun and the others were practicing cultivation and felt nothing, but the family members had not seen Shen Yun for a month and a half. Have a lively meal. Shen Jian and the others haven't come back yet. Have they sent a message home? Shen Yun asked Yang Kankan and his second aunt who were sitting next to him. I'm back from delivering the message. I've walked more than half of the journey and seen a lot of things. Let's not worry at home. They are fine, the second aunt said with a smile. They were lying when they said they were not worried at home. Fortunately, there were fortune cards at home and the information they sent back the next day, so they were not so worried. As long as it's good, I should be able to gain a lot of knowledge when I get back from this trip. I'll probably catch up with Shen Xing and the others when they start school when I get back. That's what they said in the letter. Don't worry about them, they are very nice. I think they are a little happy and don't want to come back, Yang Kankan said with a smile. It's okay if I don't come back. I don't want to go to school anymore. I worked hard for so many years to get into the exam. Shen Yun knows Shen Xing well. He has been busy cultivating for so many years and has never given up on studying. With his own efforts, he got into the best exam in their province. It's impossible for him to come back if he doesn't come back to college. The whole family laughed when they heard this. Since nothing happened at home, Shen Yun went to town to see his aunt again the next day. Her condition has recovered relatively well, and she also shared some things about Huangben's blind date with Shen Yun. She looks much better than the depressed state some time ago. Huangben is also in good condition. Now that he has been transferred back to work, he has a lot more things to do than at school. Although he is busy, he still looks like an energetic young man. Shen Yun has nothing to worry about. So, it's been 2 days, why haven't the letters from your brother and the others been sent yet? For more than a month, they were sent back every other day. It's been 2 days here, why haven't they been sent yet? Shen Yun, as soon as I came back from my aunt's house, my grandma pulled me aside and told her this in a low voice. Is there something that's delayed? No, these kids have been delivering letters every night. It should have been delivered last night. It's been such a long time. No matter how busy you are, it won't take long to deliver a letter. Your second uncle and the others, they are already old. Shen Jian will definitely not let them worry, the letter will come sooner rather than later. I didn't even dare to tell your second uncle and the others about this matter. What would you do if you said so? If there was nothing wrong with the fortune card, your grandfather and I would have gone out to look for it. Yang Xiaoko said anxiously. End of this chapter. The Age of Rebirth, the fake daughter relies on cultivation to become bigger and stronger. Author, Laughing Charm. Chapter 412. Chapter 412, 412, The Smell of Old Enemies. Originally, she saw that her fortune card was fine, so she wasn't so worried anymore, but for some reason in the past 2 days, she acted as if her mind was not on her. She always lost this and forgot about that, or dropped things. Although practitioners are over 80 years old, they are not yet dim-sighted. She wanted to talk to Yun Yun when she went out in the morning, but she didn't know that she had gone to her aunt's house. When she saw people coming back, she panicked and grabbed Shen Yun and told them about the situation. Grandma, Don't worry. Since their life cards are fine, it means there is no danger to their lives. They may be trapped there temporarily and can't get out. I'm going to go out and take a look. You and the second aunt said that I went to meet them in the evening. The time for sending messages is uncertain in the future. I took them to the secret realms to exercise and reassure them. They are all secret realms that can be entered during the foundation building period. There is not much danger, but it is not very convenient to send messages. Look. Seeing Yang Xiaoko's worried look, Shen Yun also became serious. It is said that relatives sometimes have some special feelings between each other. Shen Yun didn't know if the second aunt and the others were like grandma this time, but he still had to think ahead. Okay, the two of them are almost 60 years old and haven't practiced yet. After what happened with Shen Jian before, the second uncle and the two of them can't stand other things. Okay, don't worry. I will definitely agree with your second uncle and the others. You should be careful when you go out. Remember to send a message to grandma. If anything happens, tell your family in advance. Don't hide it from me. The old lady nervously held Shen's hand. Yun's hand explained. Don't worry, I will definitely send you a message. Don't you believe in my strength? I will definitely send you a message as long as I have time, Shen Yun assured her. Grandma, I won't tell you any more, so as not to worry about it, and Hui and the others saw it and exposed it. Okay, let's go. When Yang Xiaoko heard what Shen Yun said, he glanced around in a panic and saw no one else. He breathed a sigh of relief and stopped pulling Shen Yun. Shen Yun turned around and flew directly outside. Sister, are you going out? Before he left the formation at his home, he was stopped by the golden dragon coming from behind. Yeah, I have something to do. Aren't you practicing? How come you have time? Shen Yun was surprised. He went back to practice after lunch yesterday. It shouldn't be so fast. My dad asked me to go out and buy some more books, saying that the current varieties are too monotonous. Jin Long bought them for his own father without hesitation. Uncle, he is very quick at reading. It just so happens that I have something to do when I go out this time. When it is done, I will take you to Beijing for a trip. I am familiar with the bookstores there. Shen Yun didn't think much about it. Claw Golden Dragon learns a little faster than humans. Isn't this normal? Shen Yun has been able to control his fussiness very well. What's going on? You need to go there in person, Jin Long asked curiously as he followed Shen Yun. Shen Jian and the others didn't send a message yesterday, and there was no news today. My grandma was afraid something would happen, so I went out to see if I could find anyone. I don't know where I was delayed. I didn't even send a message home. Chen Yun was also a little worried. Don't let these boys really act too big. She had thought a lot about how they were tied up, drugged, or besieged by many people, or beauties. Gee, after all, they are just a few young men who have never seen the world. Shen Jian's little social experience does not count. Then let's hurry up, their strength is too low. Jin Long didn't feel at ease anymore. From the perspective of Jin Long, who is in the God transformation stage, his strength is indeed too low in the foundation establishment stage. But in the foundation building period, it is really a very low level of cultivation in society. Especially Shen Jian and the others, they are all at the peak of foundation building. Shen Xin has completed the foundation building and is almost golden elixir. In this world, as long as it is not those who practiced in advance when encountering the severe cold, and those like Yahuang, who are basically invincible, are all trapped like this, unable to even send messages. What happened to Shen? The more Yun thought about it, the more panicked he became. Let's go, hurry up, Shen Yun said and sped up, and neither of them could see anyone flying in the sky. The last time he sent a message, he said that more than half of the trip had passed, but he didn't say where exactly he was. Shen Yun could only deduce it by himself based on the route from Beijing to his home. Shen Yun went back and forth with his spiritual consciousness at the same location, but found nothing. How about we go down and take a look? Maybe someone has seen them, or someone from the special department may ask. Maybe Shen Jian and the others asked for help in the past, Jin Long suggested after looking for a day or two without finding anything. It can only be like this, but looking for it this way is tantamount to finding a needle in a haystack. There is still no news after 2 days. I contacted the local special department, and they said they had never seen these 6 people, and there were no strange things happening in their place. After saying hello to the nearby special departments and supervision stations and asking them to help keep an eye on it, Shen Yun and the others continued towards the next stop. Early the next morning, I was stopped by people from the special department at the gate of the next boundary. Fortunately, I found you. Last night a cultivator came over and said something was amiss in the past 2 days. Our people have already passed by. I chased you all night before I found you. How lucky you are, the other party said. I wiped my sweat, but it was really not easy. I almost didn't catch up with someone while driving. Shen Yun looked at the opponent's cultivation level during the qi refining period, and it was indeed not easy to catch up with the two of them. Thank you for making this trip. Just give us the address and we'll go take a look, Shen Yun said quickly. It's at Hongshan Cave. That place is relatively remote and big, and not many people go there. Some cultivators who went into the mountain to dig for spiritual plants noticed this. You go over and see if there is anyone you are looking for, the other party said quickly. Hearing the name of the place, Shen Yun Liang recalled the address on the map he had looked at. It was a small mountain col and was relatively narrow. I'll go back and thank you later. Let's go and take a look first. Shen Yun thanked him and flew over there with the golden dragon. Soon we arrived at the Hongshan Cave on the map. It was not a cave, but a narrow crack in the middle of the mountain. The weeds were as high as the waist. Ordinary people would not want to go in. Shen Yun and the others flew forward in the gap. There were no traces of people walking on the ground. Didn't the people from the special department find this? It can't be the noise caused by animals, Jin Long said doubtfully. Don't worry, keep going forward. I feel like I smell the scent of a familiar old enemy at this time. A Yang, who had been hanging on the golden dragon's neck as a decoration, spoke. Oh, the 5-clawed golden dragon was an old acquaintance and a sworn enemy. That was serious. The two of them speeded up in unison. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Age of Rebirth, the fake daughter relies on cultivation to become bigger and stronger. Author, Laughing Charm. Chapter 413. Chapter 413, 413, used to fan the wind and light the fire. A cave half as tall as a man appeared in the narrow gap in front. Dad, is this here? The golden dragon stood at the entrance of the cave and asked the 5-clawed golden dragon for confirmation. This is it. Go in and keep your voice down. These guys are very cunning. They all carry demonic energy and have strong attack power. I don't know how they got into this world. It seems that they are hiding here and don't dare to go out. No, if you know how to get hit by these unlucky guys, you will lose your life even if you don't die, Yao Yang warned. You mean the demons are here? Shen Yun guessed. Yes, I guess the strength is not weak. You should be careful, otherwise it will be bad, Ao Yang reminded, and then fell silent. Shen Yun and Jin Long looked at each other carefully. Jin Long got in first before Shen Yun could react. Why are you so anxious? Let's discuss a countermeasure, Shen Yun followed without hesitation. Discuss while walking. Jin Long didn't even look back. Then what would you do if we met? Shen Yun was curious. This time she was a little nervous. She didn't know what Jin Long was thinking. If you encounter them, fight them. I'm in the stage of becoming a now, so I can still be afraid of them. The golden dragon head is very strong, and there is no fear at all. They may have our hostages in their hands. What do you think we should do? If Shen Xing and the others are not here, it would be fine, but I am afraid that Shen Xing and the others, who don't know how high the sky is, will come and stir up trouble. It's okay. I'll stop them when the time comes. Sister, you can save them. Jin Long had already thought about it. The demons were so dangerous and he definitely couldn't let his sister confront them first. We'll talk inside, and we'll play by ear, Shen Yun replied. The inside of the cave was not as small as the entrance. The two of them looked at the cave that was getting wider and wider. They originally thought it was a shallow cave, but they didn't know that it became wider and wider as they walked further. Be careful. The silent Yao Yang looked at the cautious look of the two people and reminded them. The two of them immediately understood that they might be getting there soon. Raise vigilance to 200%. Both men took out their weapons. Shen Yun's is Qing Feng, and Jin Long's is a phoenix feather fan from his Fenjiao. I haven't seen him use it before. Shen Yun guessed it was used to fan the wind and light the fire. Before I saw the demons, I saw those from the Shen family. They were locked in a rolling cage. Except for Shen Jian, who was sitting with his eyes closed, the other 5 were lying down. Visually, they were not injured. Light. Shen Yun took a breath and looked at the weak rise and fall of the chest of the person lying on the ground, and his heart finally relaxed a lot. Then the attention turned to the cage where they were locked. The size of this thing obviously didn't look like it was brought in from the hole. The flowing look seemed to be made by magic, but you could tell by looking at the thick demonic aura on it. Where is this product from? Unexpectedly, the demonic eye near Baiun town had just been dealt with, and demonic energy appeared here again. Looking at the people locked inside, Shen Yun didn't know what to do for a while. If she used the lightning technique, she couldn't guarantee whether it would hurt those lying inside. Girl, use the sword in your hand and let the golden dragon enchant you with the true fire of the sun. Keep this thing and it will dissipate immediately. Ao Yang looked at the two people who couldn't do anything, and gave an idea from the side. He was happy to see it. The old rival was defeated. However, ordinary thunder and lightning are useless against such a magic cage, and can only be used with more powerful ones. Sister, come on, I'll help you. Let's save the people first. Jin Long didn't hesitate. Chen Yun waved his Qing Feng, and a bright sun fire appeared above it. Without hesitation, Shen Yun swung directly towards the cage. Golden Dragon controlled the flames very accurately. The cage cracked directly, but the flames did not leak out at all. The two swords opened a big hole in the cage, and all that was left was how to take away the injured. The magic pen that had been motionless for several years in the sea of consciousness suddenly trembled. Shen Yun suddenly thought that after she left the space, there was another place that was absolutely safe and she could send them in first. With a move, Shen Yun directly used the magic pen in the sea of consciousness. Draw a door in front of yourself. Jinlong, check if there is any demonic energy on them, and then feed them with exorcism pills and put them directly inside. Shen Yun called to Jinlong, who was still stunned. I didn't expect that, little girl, you have such an incredible artifact in your hand. It's not bad. She was shocked, and the well-informed Yao Yang also recognized what was in Shen Yun's hand. I really didn't expect that this remote there is such a thing in the small world. Shen Yun didn't have time to answer Yao Yang's doubts at the moment. She was busy carrying people to the door. He was seriously injured, and the demonic energy in his body was swirling around. Shen Yun didn't care about healing their wounds at the moment, so he could only feed them the exorcism pill first, and then stuff the healing pill into it, and then moved them to the Shanhe Shiji. Tuesday. The demons here were not there, who could know when to come back. Speed up the speed, A Yang reminded him at the right time. It's too late, the person has already returned. Sister, the remaining two people are left to you. The golden dragon stood up and stood in front of the cage, and then a powerful attack came in front of him. Who stole my prey? A roaring voice exploded directly in my ears. Shen Yun felt dizzy. Biting the tip of her tongue, looking at Shen Xing and Chu Jing who were still lying down, she sped up. At the moment when the rocking sound of the cave came, Shen Yun closed the door with a magic pen. Then I saw a man nearly 4 meters tall slowly walking out of the cave. It was wrong to say he was a man. The man had one eye in the middle, 2 horns on his head, and a head of crazy hair. Most parts of the face. Little Phoenix, the other party, saw the two of them and was obviously confused. "Did you steal my prey?" There was obvious anger in his voice. "That's not your prey, that's my friend," Jin Long said, staring at the other person. "Ho ho ho," he raised his head and smiled strangely. "Little Phoenix, you are quite courageous. Let me see how qualified you are to have friends." As soon as he finished speaking, he attacked. Although he was big, his speed was not slow at all. Shen Yun and the others were already on guard, and their reactions were not slow. "You two have a good practice with him. I thought he was a big character, but it turned out to be a little devil. My son beat him." Yao Yang put fire on the golden dragon's neck. The smell of small earthworms. The demon was confused for a moment. He would never mistake the smell. He was his lifelong enemy. However, as he spoke, the scent of the other party disappeared again, and he was confused. "Son, beat him." Ye Yang was furious. No one dared to say that to his mighty 5-clawed golden dragon, not even the demons. Beat him. End of this chapter. The Age of Rebirth, the fake daughter relies on cultivation to become bigger and stronger. Author, Laughing Charm. Chapter 414. Chapter 414, 414, Consume him to death. This world is not their demon world. He came here alone and there was no demonic energy to support him. How dare he be so arrogant? Even if Yang let the golden dragon beat him, he wouldn't be afraid. When the Demon King came out, Yang felt that there was only one demon in this place. If he didn't command the golden dragon to practice, it would be even worse when he went back to face a large number of demons. Jin Long and Shen Yun did not need to be urged by Yang, and directly faced each other. Unlike the small characters that Yang said, Shen Yun knew that this demon was stronger than himself when they faced each other. Not just physical strength, but also cultivation. In this narrow space, although Shen Yun and the others are more flexible than the other, they must always prevent the opponent's demonic attacks from landing on themselves. For a while, they can only be chased and beaten by the Demon King. "Son, don't hold it back, use your true Sun Fire and Phoenix True Fire to fight. These can restrain evil spirits and are also effective against demons." Ao Yang was very angry as he watched the two people being chased and beaten. He was originally prepared to keep quiet to see the fighting prowess of the two little guys, but seeing how active the demons were, he felt unhappy. Their two clans were mortal enemies, and now one was his son and the other was his purified blood. The little girl felt very aggrieved when she saw she was being beaten and suppressed this time. "Don't worry, Dad, this is our first time encountering such a powerful opponent. Let's practice our skills first." Jin Long is not afraid of the opponent. Looking at his big body nestled in such a small cave, he knows that there must be taboos on the opponent outside. If you can't beat something, just run away. Now it's just a matter of practicing your skills. Yang heard his son's high-sounding words, but he didn't expose him in front of his old enemy. He just practiced his skills. Anyway, if it didn't work, he would still be there, so let the younger ones do it first. He didn't believe it. After recovering from his injuries for so long, he would still fail against this big guy. Anyway, the big guy from the demon tribe was not afraid of being discovered by the guy above him. He had cover, so what else did he have to worry about? Shen Yun and the others didn't know what was going on in Yao Yang's mind. They were concentrating on dealing with this Demon King this time. Shen Yun turned over, moved backward to avoid the Demon King's big hand, and wiped away the blood from the corner of his mouth that was fanned by the demonic chi. After this fight, although they did not gain the upper hand, they learned more about each other. It is indeed difficult to defeat the opponent physically, but with this skill, they also found out the opponent's weaknesses. One is the eyes on the forehead, and the other is the position of the opponent's dantian. Shen Yun and the others were not able to defeat them. When one is about to get close, the opponent will inadvertently avoid it, and if he wants to attack these two places, he will face a more terrifying attack from the opponent. Due to the opponent's violent attack, a lot of the surrounding mountain walls collapsed. Shen Yun directly communicated with Jin Long in his mind. The attacking Jin Long met Shen Yun's gaze and nodded. The two of them tried their best to attack the dantian position. Sure enough, the Demon King immediately noticed their movements and casually attacked the two people with his hands. After just a fight, he thought he had figured out the strength of the two people. The two little ants also wanted to shake the big tree. Even though the little phoenix had some strength, it looked like it had not been through battle. It looked like a good beast had turned into a waste. Although he was wary, he still had contempt for it. Shen Yun and the others were waiting for this opportunity and to be despised by him. The two of them cooperated very well. Shen Yun directly took out a stack of talismans and attacked one of the devil's hands. His movements did not change and he quickly stabbed towards the opponent's dantian. The golden dragon disappeared from its original position and quickly appeared next to the Demon King's forehead, and the real sunfire in his hand directly attacked the big eyes on his forehead before the opponent closed his eyes. Ouch! A shrill howl sounded in the cave. Shen Yun endured the dizziness and tried his best to hang his body on the sword. As the opponent's big hand waved, his whole body kept swinging in the air. The Demon King's physical strength is indeed very strong. When the opponent slapped him, Shen Yun directly inserted the Qingfeng sword into the opponent's hand. Although it was not a key part, Shen Yun still worked hard. It wasn't until the sword blade completely penetrated the opponent's palm that Shen Yun pulled out the sword by shaking it, and then his whole body was thrown against the wall by the opponent. "You are bold and dare to touch my eyes, I will kill you." The devil was completely angered. Two little ants he didn't like hurt his devil eyes, and he wanted them to pay the price. But his eyes were completely blind this time, and his attacks were unorganized. Although the movement was loud, Shen Yun and the others were still able to dodge. But it is not that easy to get close to the opponent's other fatal point again. The Demon King protects dantian even more closely. You just wear it out slowly. Anyway, the other party has no magic energy to replenish it, so I don't believe that it can't kill him. Yao Yang didn't expect that the fighting power of the two little guys is quite good, and they can cooperate so well. They just burned out the magic eye. It's really satisfying. This idea was a good one. Shen Yun had another idea. Instead of killing the person, he could directly arrest him and ask what was going on with the demonic eye over there and if there was a way to solve it. She immediately passed this idea to Jin Long. Jin Long quietly asked his father about the feasibility. "Good girl, I dare to think that if you do this, you are really going to exhaust his demonic energy." When Yao Yang and the others met the demons, they basically went straight to it. Either the other party died or they died. It's really, I had never thought about capturing prisoners, but now that I think about it, it's not impossible. There is a demonic eye hanging over there. Maybe I can ask something from the Demon King's mouth. Okay, let's use it up slowly. After getting the method, Shen Yun immediately decided to try it. If she missed this demon clan, she still doesn't know where the next one is. The demonic eye is a time bomb and can be solved as soon as possible. I don't want to drag it around either. She stuffed a few healing pills into her mouth. As for the injuries on her body, she didn't have time to repair them now, so she could only leave them like this. Two people were around the devil, constantly leading him to attack. Ah! The Demon King couldn't see it, and he was almost going crazy when he was attacked by two people. Shen Yun noticed something different. As the opponent's attack time increased, the opponent's height seemed to be gradually getting smaller. Hurry to ask A Yang about this issue. Their demons are originally about the same height as humans, it's just that the more demonic energy they store during cultivation, the more they will gradually become taller and more powerful. Therefore, you can see that the higher the level of cultivation, the taller the demons will be. The demonic energy in this guy's body has been consumed by the two of you, and there is no replenishment of the demonic energy. Of course, it will become smaller and smaller. A Yang knew his old rival very well and said with a smile and gloating. End of this chapter. The Age of Rebirth, the fake daughter relies on cultivation to become bigger and stronger. Author, Laughing Charm. Chapter 415. Chapter 415, 415, explain in advance. I didn't expect that demons would become shorter as the amount of demonic energy in their bodies decreases. This is a funny thing. Shen Yun and the others were happy for a second, and then they continued to work hard. No matter what, they had to take down the opponent first. The two sides fought for 8 days, and all the spirit-boosting pills in Shen Yun's space were consumed. The opponent's height shrank to about 1.6 meters, and then he stopped moving completely. He threw himself forward, his whole body was so tormented that he could no longer see, and he only had his last breath left. I didn't expect that. This demon is quite vain. It looks like it's not as tall as your sister, Jin Long said to Shen Yun while grabbing the Demon King. Shen Yun didn't have time to answer his question this time. After so many days of fighting, this was honestly the first time. Although she looked fine on the outside, her injuries were serious. She is not in the divine transformation stage like the Golden Dragon, and it is not so difficult to deal with the Demon King. She is really working hard these days. Suppressing the smell of blood in his mouth, Shen Yun threw a few healing pills in, then closed his eyes and began to meditate to repair his internal injuries. Jin Long took care of the Demon King over there, only to realize that Shen Yun didn't answer his words. When he turned around, he saw a trace of blood on the corner of Shen Yun's mouth. Sister, she is injured. I've been injured several times, and the internal injuries this time should be quite serious, Yao Yang said calmly. Leapfrogging challenges is the destiny of people in this world in the future. If you don't challenge it, you will die. This injury now is nothing. Why didn't you remind me before? Jin Long squatted next to Shen Yun and didn't know what to do. She had always been a lively sister. This was the first time she looked so bad in front of him. He found that he could do anything. No, the culprit has been caught now, and he can't do anything about his sister's injury. He doesn't know how to make alchemy or medical skills, and even the formation is sloppy. Yes, spirit gathering array, set up a spirit gathering array for my sister. Jin Long quickly poured out all the spirit stones in the storage bag. Hands and feet began to set up the spirit gathering array for Shen Yun in a panic. If it weren't for Yao Yang's guidance, who knows what it would be in the end. Shen Yun didn't know she had escaped yet. She was absorbing spiritual energy to repair the injuries in her body, when she suddenly felt a large burst of spiritual energy rushing toward her body. Shen Yun knew as soon as he thought about it that Jin Long had probably done something outside, so he didn't waste much time. He had more spiritual energy and could repair injuries faster. In addition, the elixir she refined herself was not a defective product, so it didn't take long. She opened her eyes in 2 days. As soon as he opened his eyes, he met the Golden Dragon's eyes. Sister, you are finally well, Jin Long almost cried with joy. If Shen Yun hadn't been sitting there this time, he would have picked him up and rolled him around. Thank you for setting up the spirit gathering formation, otherwise my injury would have to be treated again. Cough cough, cough. Sister, are you okay? Are you okay? Jin Long hurriedly patted Shen Yun on the back. It's okay, I'm still a little injured, I'll just heal slowly. Shen Yun waved his hand. Where's the Demon King? How's it going? He's not dead, right? Over there, Jin Long pointed casually. Shen Yun saw a tightly tied man with horns lying next to the collapsed stone in the corner. Judging from his thin appearance, he was indeed very different from the Demon King he had seen before. If she had said this thing was a Demon King at first, she would definitely not believe it. "He's not dead yet. He was just frightened and didn't say anything to me," Jin Long said helplessly. His father refused to speak no matter how he asked the other party in the past 2 days, and he got into trouble with the 5-clawed golden dragon. "It's okay, he doesn't know that we humans have many tricks. If he doesn't speak this time, he will beg to speak later," Shen Yun said threateningly. The other party was obviously awake. Hearing Shen Yun say this time, he couldn't help but tremble. "Then let's take the person away now. My dad said that he can just take it out in a spirit animal bag. He won't die anyway. It's safe to put him in the spirit animal bag." Jin Long gave Shen Yun an idea. Shen Yun thought about a few people in the Shanhe Shiji too, and didn't know what the current situation was like. He had been delayed in this place for so long. He wanted to go to the capital to find Yan Han and release the people first. Without any delay, he took out a spirit animal bag and put the Demon King in it. After the spirit beast bag has been used, it can no longer contain other things, it can only contain things belonging to the demon clan. Before leaving, A Yang forgot to explain. Shen Yun nodded to express his understanding. After leaving the cave, he was ready to fly, but he didn't expect to be directly picked up by the golden dragon. "Sister, your injury is not healed yet, I will take you to the capital city." After Jin Long said that, he flew forward with the people. Shen Yun is also happy to be free. For a powerful person in the stage of becoming a god, there is no pressure to lead someone. In less than half a day, they arrived in the capital city. Without wasting any time, the two went directly to Yan Han's office. "Why did you come here and didn't say hello?" Yan Han said politely. He and Jin Long were not familiar with each other now. Shen Yun had not introduced them to them yet for fear of revealing their secrets. Therefore, Yan Han could not treat strangers like others. "Shen Yun is so casual. Something happened. My brothers and the others were injured. I was sent to the Shanhe Shiji Tuesday. It's been several days and I don't know what happened." Shen Yun quickly explained the whole story. Wait a minute. When Yan Han heard what Shen Yun said, he didn't hesitate at all and directly began to summon the map of mountains, rivers, and the country in the Sea of Consciousness. It can be seen that he must be doing tricks frequently, so it didn't take long for a brilliant scroll to appear in front of everyone. A Yang looked at the artifact in front of him. He was really knowledgeable. He didn't expect that there were such good things in this small place. It made him want to hunt for treasures here. If life wasn't more important, he could really do this. Shen Yun looked at the picture and took out his pen. He mobilized his spiritual energy and drew a few strokes to look like a door. "I'll go in and bring the people out," Shen Yun said and was about to go inside. Jin Long looked at her using a lot of spiritual energy, and his face turned pale again. He quickly stopped the person and collapsed in. "Sister, just wait, I will definitely bring it back to you." After leaving a word, the person disappeared through the door. "What's wrong with you?" Yan Han looked at Shen Yun and looked strange. Her cultivation level was higher than hers. Why did she become like this after just a few uses? "I was slightly injured and haven't recovered yet," Shen Yun said calmly. "You are not telling the truth. We have known each other for such a long time and I still don't know you." Yan Han's face turned cold. "Who is the other party? Dare to attack a national official? The other party is not from this world. Shen Jian and the others encountered a demon clan over there in Hongshan Cave. We went to save people and happened to meet him. The other party is the Demon King. As for how he got here, I haven't asked clearly yet. I will ask when I go back." "Ask, it's not convenient to get this Demon King out at the moment, wait until I go back to get a formation." Shen Yun thought about it. Who knows if there are other demons coming in this world? This matter is not suitable to be kept secret, it is better to talk to Yan Han in advance. good. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Age of Rebirth, the fake daughter relies on cultivation to become bigger and stronger. Author, Laughing Charm. Chapter 416. Chapter 416, 416, Unconscious. Demons, Demon King, do you mean the things from the same world on the other side of the demon chi? Yan Han reacted immediately, his expression becoming more serious. Shen Yun nodded, I don't know if he came from another world, but I can confirm that this person did use a demonic attack method. What does the demon look like? Can you draw it so that I can inform the people below to be careful? Yan Han asked the key question. You wait. Shen Yun picked up the paper and pen and started to draw. Although he was not a professional painter, the demons were so distinctive that they could draw the essence of each other with just a few strokes. One eye and one horn, you'll know it's not a creature from this planet when you see it. Shen Yun handed the picture he drew to Yan Han. Okay, I will pass on this news to make the people below be wary. By the way, do you want to call a doctor? Yan Han put away the portrait directly. I won't use it for the time being, my injury needs to be healed slowly. I hope there is only one demon clan. If you meet a demon clan, don't act rashly and run away if you can. I guess those with low strength will not be able to come to this place. Those with high strength will come. I saw that demon clan hiding in the cave and finally fighting. You were so cruel and the other party didn't come out. I guess there must be something the other party is afraid of outside. When you notify, make it clear to the brothers below. Chen Yun explained. Okay, I will definitely explain this. Is the demon in your hands still alive? Do you need our assistance in interrogation? I still have one breath left. When I go back and recover from my injuries, I can create an isolation formation and then take him out and ask questions to see if I can find out anything. Otherwise, if I let him out in this place, I'm afraid of the remaining demons on him. It's not good if the anger is leaked and causes bad effects. Yan Han did not force himself in this situation, just wait, Shen Jian and the others are also injured, right? I'll apply for something for you, Yan Han said and walked out of his office. Shen Yun wondered for a moment, what could be better than his own healing pill? Not long after, Yan Han came over with 4 boxes. Where are you going to get something? You're going so fast. Shen Yun curiously looked at the box in Yan Han's hand. This was given to him, but he was polite enough not to use his consciousness to look at it in advance. I applied for some Ganoderma lucidum and ginseng for you. As a member of our department, you have not enjoyed any convenience for such a long time and have done so many things. You can take these back and eat them to see if they are good for your injury. Yan Han pushed the box over directly. Shen Yun looked at the 4 boxes in front of him. I'll open them to see what good things they are. It's really good stuff: ginseng, deer antlers, Ganoderma lucidum, and cordyceps. 4 boxes, they are full and impartial. The quality of the things is also very good. The ginseng is smaller than the one in my space, the other 3 items are still my own. There is no space. Our department has become rich, do we use this to reward employees now? Shen Yun asked curiously. Although eating these things is beneficial, for them cultivators, they can only be said to be better than nothing. We are getting rich there. Isn't this specially cultivated by the research department? These things cultivated with spiritual energy grow fast and well. This benefit will be given to us. Any colleagues who are injured can go and apply for this thing. You're in time, I'll get you some. The effect may not be as good as your elixir, but it's better to take some than nothing. Yan Han didn't attach much importance to this, otherwise he wouldn't have been allowed to collect so many from the warehouse. He not only brought Chen Yun's share, but also brought over the useless ones that he was injured last time. Okay, I'll just take these 3 items. I have the ginseng here, so you can take it back and use it. Chen Yun directly pushed the ginseng back. When she gave gifts to Mr. Chu and the others, a lot of them had been transplanted into the space. After such a long time, some of them became spiritual ginseng, and some were almost 1,000 years old. I don't dare to take it out easily. Okay, then I'll take this back. Yan Han was not polite to Shen Yun either. He knew that Shen Yun had more good things in his hands than he knew. While the two people were talking, Jin Long walked out of the door carrying the two people. Help me quickly. Where are the others? How are their conditions? Shen Yun took Shen Jian from his hand, while Yan Han took his young disciple Zhang Huai down on the other side. They are in better condition. They are supporting each other and walking behind. I will go in and pick them up again. Look at their condition. There are a lot of things missing inside. Some of them have injuries on their bodies and they have not gone to find medicine. So I haven't woken up for a long time, Jin Long confessed, turned around and went back. Shen Yun and the two quickly put the people away. Please call the doctor to come and take a look. I'll stay here. Shen Yun is really not good at medical skills. She only knows simple and crude spiritual detection. And look at the other person's anger. Although my two apprentices are unconscious, their breathing seems to be fine. They still don't know if their consciousness can detect what's wrong. It's better to call the doctor over first. There are several injured people behind them. Don't worry, it will be fine. There are doctors in the department. I'll call for them right away. The severe cold swept away like a gust of wind. Shen Yun then began to use his spiritual consciousness to check the situation of the two people. He suffered some internal injuries and had traces of demonic damage on his body. However, he had taken the exorcism pill in advance, so it did not cause an irreversible situation. The injury to his consciousness was not serious, so Shen Yun couldn't figure out why he didn't wake up. Before Shen Yun could figure it out, Jin Long helped 4 other people who were swaying out. What's going on with you? Didn't I give you some healing pills and exorcism pills? Why are you in such a mess? Shen Yun helped a few people sit down and looked at their faces. He obviously looked at them when he entered. Although he was well dressed, he looked like he had been begging for many days and was covered in mud. Sister, I thought I would never see you again. You don't know how miserable we have been inside these past few days. We thought we were dead before anyone could say anything. The youngest Shen seeing he staggered to Shen Yun and started crying. Okay, it's okay. My sister put you in. It was an emergency at the time and you were still unconscious. I didn't say anything to you. Shen Yun looked at his little brother who was like a mud monkey in front of him, and directly cast a cleaning technique. Go up. Then he hugged his brother who was taller than him and patted his shoulder to comfort him. Sister, take a look at 4th brother and Zhang Huai. They haven't woken up yet. We don't know where they are inside. We can only move them slowly. Take a look. Shen Xing spoke. He saw Shen Jian and the others lying there, and asked Shen Yun to wipe away his tears immediately to see Shen Jian and the others. End of this chapter. The Age of Rebirth, the fake daughter relies on cultivation to become bigger and stronger. Author, Laughing Charm. Chapter 417. Chapter 417, 417, taught them a heavy lesson in life. Don't worry, people have already seen it. Yan Han went to call the doctor. Your injuries are not healed. You need to recover first. Shen Yun quickly comforted him, and when he spoke, several people got rid of the cleaning skills. Several tabby cats have turned into handsome teenagers again. Master, I'm fine. Let me see how my brother is doing. Zhang Ji was worried and limped towards Zhang Huai. He was the elder brother. He didn't take his younger brother with him when he went out, so he couldn't hand him over when he got home. At this moment, he regretted it very much. Why did he propose to go all the way back to practice medicine? Why did he not take the bus? Thinking about it, looking at his brother lying there, he stretched out his hand and hit himself in the face. Okay, what are you doing? This is not your problem. You haven't healed your own injuries yet. Don't act recklessly just because you are a doctor. When your legs don't grow well, they will break. Masters, you also know that medical skills cannot save your legs. Shen Yun moved next to Zhang Ji in an instant and stopped his movement. But this idea was proposed by me in the first place. Zhang Ji grew up, and this was the first time he encountered such a thing. The brothers and his uncle almost died in the unknown cave because of his suggestion. What's more serious is that they may become the monster's puppet and later become a killing machine. Their high sense of morality makes him feel so painful that he can't wait to go back to the day of the proposal and slap himself twice. You told us about this. Your grandfather and I both agreed. You were not traveling privately. No one expected that such a thing would happen. If we had known, we would not have let you go out. Shen, seeing Zhang Ji lowering her head, Yun quickly reassured him that if this matter is not resolved, it will become a knot in his heart in the future, and it will have an impact on his cultivation in the future. Yeah, we won't blame you. This thing is not because of you. Who would have expected that there is such a thing in our world? Or we have too little experience. After this time, I believe that when we go out next time, you must be careful and careful. Your main task now is to recover quickly. If ordinary doctors can't save them, they will have to wait for you to save them. You can't let them go first. Zhen Yu looked at the people lying on the ground. The troubled brother and Zhang Huai cannot be blamed on any one person. I can only say that they are a bit arrogant and underestimate the enemy. After this incident, they also learned a heavy lesson in life. Okay, Shen Yu, you first send a message to your family, saying that you have something to do in Beijing and I am here too. Don't talk to your family about your injury. Let's wait here until the injury heals before we go back. I'll share the healing elixirs with you, and help me heal my wounds quickly. What happened this time is not that person's fault, it's the fault of a few of you. Please write me a review report later, and I'll do it when they both wake up. Right. While Chen Yun was getting the elixir, he was arranging things for a few people and diverted his attention first. When Shen Jian and the others wake up, Zhang Ji's guilt will feel better. With Shen Yun's arrangement, Zhang Ji and the others remembered that they hadn't sent any messages to their families in recent days, and they were probably frightened too. Everyone is busy. Seeing that his attention had shifted, Shen Yun breathed a sigh of relief. The doctor is here, let him take a look. At this time, Yan Han quickly walked in with two people carrying medicine boxes. Please take a look, they have been unconscious for several days. Shen Yun made way to make it easier for the doctor to see him. Two doctors, one a Chinese doctor and one a Western doctor, each with a patient, started working separately. Doctor, how are they doing? The two doctors looked at both of them, and Shen Yun stood aside and asked carefully. I initially suspect that there is a vegetative tendency, but specifically I suggest you go to a large hospital to check with instruments. This is my personal opinion, you can listen to him. After the Western doctor finished speaking, he pointed to the Chinese medicine doctor next to him. Although he was still unsure, his words still made the hearts of the teenagers next to him sink. Zhang Ji and Chu Jing ran over without caring about healing their injuries. He immediately began to feel his pulse. It was obvious that what they were looking at inside was not that serious. I don't think it's that serious. It seems to be a kind of self-isolation. It may be that they are not willing to wake up due to some stimulation. Your family members can spend more time with them and call them, and maybe they will wake up. Although the explanations are different, everyone can also hear that it is uncertain when a person wakes up. It can only depend on whether he is willing to wake up. Thank you both. If I need you later, I'll come over to see you. Shen Yun politely sent the person away. No matter what, they also came over to have a look and gave me some advice. I can only rely on them for what happens next. By myself. Okay, the two people didn't say anything and just left. How is it, what do you two see? Shen Yun turned to ask the two disciples again. The pulse condition is the same as before. There is no change. Although the internal injuries in the body have not been actively repaired, they have improved a bit with the repair of the elixir, but there is no sign of waking up, the two people said distressedly. The doctors hired by the special departments are certainly not half-assed. Since they have given their own suggestions, they must have really seen something, otherwise they would not have been aimless. Okay, now that the situation has been determined, it's your responsibility to take care of your injuries quickly and come up with a treatment plan. We have to go home in 10 days, otherwise we won't be able to catch up with Shenxing and the others to go to school. The family will definitely be suspicious. Shen Yun gave several people a task: if you need help, just call us. Shen Jian's injury this time was not as serious as the one long ago. He just closed his world and refused to wake up. He was probably afraid that he would wake up and turn into a monster and kill. As long as he received appropriate stimulation and treatment, Shen Yun believed that it won't take long for the two of them to wake up. As long as they wake up, things will be easier to handle. Okay, we will definitely work hard. Zhang Ji and Chu Jing were stunned for a moment. Thinking about the heavy burden on themselves, they stopped guarding others. Zhang Luo went home to find medicine to heal his own injuries first, and then study the injuries of Shen Jian and others. Shen Yun and the others did not stay here too long. They said goodbye to the cold weather and returned to their hut in the capital with people and things. The next step is to recuperate and do things. There is no one idle in the hut. Shen Yun, who was originally going to go shopping with Jin Long, was ordered by Jin Long to recover from his injuries at home before going out. Now she and Shen Xing were treated the same. The most outrageous thing is that the children in the family knew that she was injured, so they all took care of her and became extremely nagging. End of this chapter. The Age of Rebirth, the fake daughter relies on cultivation to become bigger and stronger. Author, Laughing Charm. Chapter 418. Shen Yun was tightly controlled by a few people in turn. He didn't have to do anything every day. He only had to watch them and treat Shen Jian and the two of them. The four of them recovered from their injuries, and besides Mr. Zhang, they also called Mr. Chu, Mr. Qian, and others to come over and help look after them. Lao Chu was startled when he saw the two people lying down. He has grown older over the years, and he couldn't bear to see his junior lying there. Although his eldest grandson was standing beside him, they all went out together. Just think about it and you will know what happened to these people when they went out. You guys are so courageous. This guy is already fainting. It's better for you to hide it from your family. Zhangji, why didn't you call your grandpa over? And you, Chu Jing, you even hid it from your family when something happened. You're getting more and more courageous, Mr. Chu said angrily, looking at the two children who were as honest as quails. Mr. Chu, Mr. Qian, I have already trained them. This matter is not what they are happy with. Besides, isn't this all an accident? You and Mr. Qian are tired. Please take a look at it quickly. When you get back, I will let they go home to receive their punishment. Shen Yun smiled and went over to hold the two elders' arms. You, the master, just get used to them, Mr. Chu said helplessly, following Shen Yun's hand and walking forward. Now is really not the time to argue, let's take a look at the two lying down first. If they don't save the two children, they will not be able to face their old friends. You girl, you're still talking about them. I don't think your face looks good. I'll show it to you later after I've finished reading it to them. Both of them are sharp-eyed people, and they can tell what Shen Yun is without checking his pulse. His face looks bad. Okay, please show it to my brother and my little apprentice first. Zhang Ji and the others already have a treatment plan, but they are afraid of being insecure. Please come over and help me decide on the prescription and treatment method. Shen Yun, this time I can only agree to everything. In any case, the injury inside her body is not serious and she will be fine after a period of recovery. The fight with the demons was so severe that the essence and blood were consumed too much, and the heart and lungs were damaged. All other injuries have healed. I just need to take care of myself slowly. There seems to be no solution. At most, I can take some medicine to help. Hearing what Shen Yun said, the two elders didn't waste any more time and went directly to treat the two wounded people lying in the room. After reading it, I went to discuss the prescription and treatment plan with Zhang Ji and the others. Anyway, nothing happened to Shen Yun. The treatment plan for them has been decided. It's your turn. After more than an hour of discussion, Mr. Chu and Mr. Qian walked out with happy faces. It seemed that they were very satisfied with the treatment plan given by Zhang Ji. Satisfied? Okay, come on. Shen Yun stretched out his hand to let the two people feel his pulse. You girl, you are so seriously injured and you are still wandering here without resting in bed. You are so heartbroken. After seeing Shen Yun's condition, the two old men took a breath. Zhang Ji and the others did not dare to say anything before. This time it was said by two old people. Looking at the two people glaring at him, Shen Yun touched his nose innocently. You two have forgotten that I am a cultivator. I can just recover from this injury. It's no big deal. It's nothing serious. If you were an ordinary person, you wouldn't be able to get up if you didn't lie down for a month or two. How amazing you are! You are a cultivator. Anyway, you have a lot of destiny. You can work hard, Mr. Chu said coolly. It's really okay. Look, I'm not alive and kicking. How about you prescribe some medicine for me? This is because my apprentice is not good at learning and has not learned your essence. I don't know how to prescribe some medicine when my master is injured. Seeing that the faces of the two elders were really dark, Chen Yun decisively put the blame on his apprentice. The master has something to do, and the disciple will do his best. This matter all depends on Qujing and the others. Hearing Shen Yun's words, Mr. Chu glanced at Zhang Ji, Qujing, and the others. When Zhang Huai and the others wake up later, you can stay in the capital for a while. We old guys don't know how long we can live. Stay with us and learn the craft again, otherwise don't lose face to me and your grandfather when you go out. After saying this, Mr. Chu started discussing the prescription with Qian Lao next to him. This made Qujing and Zhang Ji angry and dare not say anything. They obviously wanted to prescribe medicine to the master. She felt bitter and asked them to study the pills. How could it be their fault now? Why? Sighed, thinking about the brothers lying in the room. They had to go to work first. They are all elders, and no one is suitable because they are too young. As soon as Mr. Chu and Mr. Qian left here, Shen Yun received a long prescription. Okay, the prescriptions are all written. We can't waste the efforts of these two old people. When you prepare the medicine for Shen Jian and the others, take mine with you. Shen Yun handed the prescription to Zhang Ji. Master, Grandpa Chu and his friends can't waste their thoughts, ours will do. Zhang Ji asked narrowly. Of course. How much does it cost for Mr. Chu and others to prescribe a prescription? How much does it cost for you to prescribe a prescription? It's different. Work hard, young man. Shen Yun waved his hand. It seems that he has not been hit hard enough along the way. He has no confidence in himself. I don't know yet. Zhang Ji was choked and shut up in an instant. Thinking about the fact that along the way, they have to treat people for free, and some people have to think about it, just to bully their tender faces. Sure enough, practicing medicine sometimes doesn't depend on your medical skills. Before you become famous, people look at your face. The older you get, the more popular Chinese medicine becomes. Thinking about his grandfather and the others, they don't go out to see you now. It's really hard to find someone. Sure enough, or are they worthless? Okay, you guys are pretty good too. Hurry up and get going. Shen Yun was afraid of shocking people stupidly. After all, he had only been hit once before, so he quickly changed the topic and comforted him again. Okay, master, when we thoroughly study the pamphlet you gave us, I won't believe that there are still people who will look at our faces and evaluate our medical skills. Zhang Ji was so motivated that she turned around and went to work. Junior brother, uncle, and master are all waiting for their treatment. He is not in a sad mood now. Shen Yun was satisfied. The boy just didn't blame himself as he did when he came out that day. Instead, he turned his self-blame into hard work. This was also a good direction, and she had no objection at all. The normal days passed extremely slowly. On the sixth day of being stationed in this small courtyard, Shen Jian and Zhang Huai finally woke up from Zhang Ji and Chu Jing's torment. At that time, Shen Yun was holding his breath while drinking bitter medicine soup. Woolen cloth. Master, my uncle and junior brother are awake. Hearing the always steady Zhang Ji scream, Shen Yun estimated that if it weren't for the formation at home, his happy voice could be heard within a radius of 5 miles. Putting down the medicine that he had been preparing for a long time but not yet drank, Shen Yun happily walked towards the room. For such a happy thing, he would drink the bitter medicine soup later. Anyway, he would not die if he did not drink it. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Age of Rebirth, the fake daughter relies on cultivation to become bigger and stronger. Author, Laughing Charm. Chapter 419. Jin Long looked at Shen Yun who walked in, and thoughtfully sealed a layer of spiritual energy on the bowl. In the past few days, he had become accustomed to his sister's trick of hiding medicine and drinking it. He was so considerate and put a layer of spiritual energy on it to avoid getting cold. Yao Yang looked at the actions of his silly son. This was the treatment he received from his biological brother. If this was his younger brother, it would be unreasonable for the two of them not to fight. It can only be said that it was not easy for Shen Yun to raise his own son so big. When he goes back, he can see if there are any good things there, and then save her life. Shen Yun managed to avoid the medicine, but when she saw Shen Jian and the others were awake today, she was in a good mood and drank the medicine in the bowl in one gulp. You two have a good rest. Don't say anything. Let's wait until the injuries are healed. Shen Yun was very happy to see the two people wake up. As for those self-examinations, let's wait 2 days before talking to them. Sister, why are you here? Did you rescue us? Are Shen Xing and the others okay? Although Shen Yun said this, Shen Jian still asked anxiously. Everything is fine. Only you and Zhang Huai are awake now. The others are all alive and kicking. You two can't do it? When you get home, you guys should practice more for me. After that, now that everything has been said, Chen Yun told them their results, and went back to practice more. Even if it was a bit difficult to deal with the Demon King, at least they wouldn't be knocked down in one encounter. His combat awareness was too poor. As soon as these words were said, not only Shen Jian and the others fell silent, but the two people next to them also fell silent. In the past, they all focused on alchemy practice. Once they heard about the additional training, they knew it was definitely not alchemy. Think about Shen Jian and the others who practice physical training and sword practice every day until their hands are calloused. Now they can't escape. They have to take some time out of their medical studies to learn these things. I should practice more, sister. I still need to improve my swordsmanship. I will ask you for advice when I go back. Shen Jian did not delay, and was determined to work harder in the future. This time, the family left his younger brother and the others to. Not only did he fail to protect them, he was almost wiped out. If his sister hadn't come to save them, they would have died in the nameless cave long ago. Thinking of this, Shen Jian's heart palpitated. He was still too weak. Shen Yun didn't know what everyone was thinking, so he just asked people to have a good rest and then went out. Since the people were awake, he could go back after a few more days of recovery. As for Zhang Ji and the others, they stayed in the capital to study medical skills. They had to go over and tell Mr. Zhang about the injury this time. They should not hide it from their elders. Now that they are awake, they still have to go over and tell Mr. Zhang. After draining his medicine in one gulp, Shen Yun returned to his room, packed his things, and went to solve the mess for his apprentice tomorrow. After practicing for a whole night, Shen Jian and the others were in much better condition. Shen Yun asked Jin Long to watch Shen Jian and the others rest at home, while he greeted his 3 apprentices and went out with gifts. "Master, where are we going?" Zhang Ji asked confused. "Let's go to your house. I only hid the injury from your grandfather. You said that when he learns the news from your grandfather Chu and the others, will you be able to eat your good fruit? I will bring you to your home to explain it clearly, so you don't have to wait for me. When you go back, your grandpa will settle the score with you again." Mr. Chu is relatively lax about Chu Jing, but Mr. Zhang is different. He has raised the 2 Zhang brothers by his side since they were young, which shows that he attaches great importance to him. The 2 Zhang brothers were silent for a moment. "Thank you, master. Okay, let's go." A few people arrived at Jiang's house. Sure enough, Mr. Zhang heard that his 2 grandsons had been injured before. He nervously felt their pulses one by one, and then he felt relieved after confirming that there was nothing serious. "If your master hadn't brought you here, would you have planned to hide it from me?" After confirming that everyone was fine, Mr. Zhang began to settle accounts after the fall. "No, Grandpa, we are afraid that you will worry, so we will tell you after we think about it." Zhang Ji thought for a while and decided to make a quibble, so as not to make the old man angry. "Okay, tell me again. I'm afraid you have forgotten what I do, Grandpa. Others can't even ask for me to see a doctor once, but you don't value it anymore." "Oops, I'm old." The boys in the family no longer looked down on the old man's medical skills. Mr. Zhang began to sigh as he spoke. Like a child. Shen Yun watched Zhang Ji and Zhang Huai nervously comforting him and laughed secretly. "Mr. Zhang, it's true that they are at fault, but you taught us all. Since you don't trust their medical skills, let them study medicine at home for a while and fulfill their filial piety by your side. What do you think?" Chen Yun opened his mouth to help the 3 people. They studied well, but there is no harm in staying at home and studying a little more. The old man is getting older and is really lonely. This time when he heard Shen Yun say this, he couldn't help but smile, and then immediately controlled his serious expression. Said, "Okay, let them study hard at home. You all know the basics of swordsmanship, and you also have swords to practice with. Study hard at home and practice hard. I will check your basic skills when you go back." Chen Yun explained. "Mr. Zhang, you told Mr. Chu that you have to supervise them to practice their swordsmanship. If their strength doesn't keep up, I won't worry if they want to go out in the future." Once he heard that they were asked to improve their strength, Zhang Lao immediately agreed and improved their strength so that he would not have to worry when going out. After going out for a trip, he left his 3 apprentices at home, and Shen Yun went back by himself. "Sister, why didn't you bring them back?" Shen Xing asked curiously, seeing that Shen Yun was the only one back. "Leave them to your elders to teach them, otherwise you won't know how great the world is. As for you guys, I'll take care of you when I get back." Shen Yun glanced at Shen Xing, then glanced at Shen Jian and Shen Yu, and said, looking at them with a wishful look, he turned around and went to the kitchen. The apprentice left, and he had to do the boiling of medicine by himself. After staying in the capital for 2 days, Shen Yun and Jin Long rushed home with them. As soon as he entered the valley, Shen Yun handed him over to his grandparents, who had been worried about him for a long time, and went straight back to the mountain. "Jin Long, I'll leave this formation to you. You set up the formation first, and I'll rest for a while. Then we'll get the demon guy out and ask him. I don't believe him anymore, and I can't ask anything. Shen Yun was very confident. When he was in Beijing these days, Shen Yun specially asked Jin Long to buy an introduction to ancient and modern torture, not believing that he would not be afraid when the time comes. Okay, you practice well, and I'll take care of this. Jin Long deserved it, and he didn't worry about his half-baked erase spells at all. Even if he wasn't good at it, he still had his old father, so let's learn from him this time. It's time for him to master some skills. The Age of Rebirth, the fake daughter relies on cultivation to become bigger and stronger. Author, Laughing Charm. Chapter 420. Dad, wake up, come out to work. Jin Long watched Shen Yun enter the house and immediately started to greet Nei Yang on his neck. You just agreed simply. I thought you were capable, but you are waiting for me here. You are such a filial son. A Yang rolled his eyes. If the son doesn't teach, the father and the son will do the same. Isn't it also up to you? Teach me, Jin Long said shamelessly. Bao Yang was so angry that he had nothing to say. The inheritance information was all in the child's head and he was unwilling to pay attention to it. This was indeed his fault. The father and son here found a hidden place outside the formation on the mountain to set up the formation. Shen Yun was also working hard to repair the hidden wounds on her body in the space. Fortunately, she had collected a lot of things over the years. She had practiced some elixirs, and she had healed the wounds to some extent, leaving only I can rely on later practice and slowly recover. A week had passed when I left customs. Jin Long, how is your formation going? Shen Yun sent a message directly to Jin Long. It's almost time. Come over here. Jin Long directly gave Shen Yun an address. Shen Yun didn't call anyone else at home, and flew outside alone with a spirit animal bag. Is the formation well set up? When they arrived at the place, Shen Yun could see at a glance that the formation of the golden dragon was very tight. Yes, I thought about it carefully and found that I still have some talent as an array mage. I may be able to work hard in this direction in the future. My dad also said that I can, Jin Long said happily. Ao Yang was the only one who was speechless. Shen Yun praised him, and the two of them entered the formation and took the Demon King out of the spirit beast bag and placed it in a separate place. Very good, the condition has become quite good these days, and the vitality is really strong. Shen Yun looked at the devil and said with a sneer that the condition was better than before. The living environment of the demon world is really the worst. You can survive anywhere, let alone the spirit beast bag. Yao Yang understands his old rivals very well. If the living environment of the demon world were not so poor, they would not be able to survive every day. I want to come outside to fight for territory. Since you are still alive, you can withstand the torture. Come to Jin Long, let's see which of these ancient and modern torture methods is the most suitable. Shen Yun and Jin Long began to study in front of the Demon King, and made comments while studying. Originally Ye Yang was still talking, but at the end he became silent. He has lived tens of thousands of years and has never heard of many of these tormenting people. We really cannot underestimate people's wisdom. These methods have to be said to be true. Abnormal. The Demon King, who had just come out of the spirit beast bag, was lying down and wanted to see if he could find a way to escape while Shen Yun and the others were not paying attention. In the end, he felt numb. If he didn't escape, he would die. As Shen Yun talked, he paid attention to the movements of the Demon King. He watched the other party shudder for a few times and closed the book. These methods are enough for today. If you can't ask, try these methods first. If it doesn't work, let's try it tomorrow. Let's study new ones. Senior A Yang, just help us keep people from dying. Shen Yun's smiling look seemed to the Demon King that he looked more like a demon than himself. Is this an idea that a human can come up with? Don't worry, you won't die, just do whatever you want. A Yang agreed. Okay, let me ask you a question first. How did you come into this world? Shen Yun got straight to the point and asked the question he cared about directly. The golden dragon cooperated to show the devil various tortures. Come here with the little loach. Although the Demon King has become smaller, he is not shy about his mouth and still dares to give nicknames to the five-clawed golden dragon. His son beat him. Yang couldn't hear this. Dad, don't make trouble. We are asking about something. Do you have any impressions? Did you bring this guy with you when you came here? Jin Long asked seriously. Yang was so angry with the naughty boy that he said angrily, our dragon tribe and their demon tribe are mortal enemies. When I come to save you, I bring my mortal enemy with me. Do I want to come to save you or kill you? You mean you came here with your seniors? What are the specifics? Please be more careful. Anyway, we have already said, don't force us to take action. Shen Yun crossed his arms and continued to ask. You humans are really despicable. Sooner or later, I will destroy you. The devil cursed and muttered. Hey, I'm listening to what you said. Why, how about I kill you first and see if you demon people can know your legacy? What do you think? Shen Yun said and took out the Qingfeng sword. He gestured towards him. The Demon King obediently closed his mouth. Even if he is a demon, he still wants to live. I am the Demon King who guards the border between the Demon Clan and the Dragon Clan. I was patrolling my territory that day when I felt the breath of my old enemy coming from the border. Passing by, I thought that this old boy wanted to sneak up on me when I wasn't paying attention. I could bear with him, so I immediately followed him, planning to fight him for 300 rounds. Unexpectedly, I saw this guy open the space-time rift. I didn't have enough time, and the rift closed immediately. I immediately followed him, wanting to find out what conspiracy this old guy had, but I didn't know that I would come to this place where no one can shit. Not only the spiritual energy is thin. None of us demons have come to this place, and there is no demonic energy at all. The most important thing is that there is a greedy heaven above who wants to absorb me for his own use. I have regretted coming to this place for a long time. It is better than the devil world. My palace, my beautiful maid, do you think I want to come to this place? The Demon King said that he felt wronged. He was a Demon King who didn't seek advancement. He wanted to see what conspiracy the Dragon Clan had and whether he could make a contribution to transfer him away from such a dangerous place next to the Dragon Clan. How could he know? It's so miserable to come to this desolate world. Finally, I caught a few people in an attempt to fill my stomach, but in the end, I was caught. It was really a shame for the devil. You're such a bear and you still want to fight me for 300 rounds. You overestimate your own capabilities. You can't even beat my son. Yao Yang disliked this howling Demon King. No wonder a Demon King has never been on the battlefield before. I have seen it before. It turns out that it is this virtue. It is really embarrassing to show it. The head is gone, and the courage is gone, right? I was almost scared out of my wits by the two little guys. Why don't I have some ideals? If I can't beat you, I won't know how to use magic weapons, the Demon King shouted unconvinced. If his brother hadn't allowed him to go to the battlefield, he would have hunted a dragon long ago. Oh, there are also magic weapons, son. Hurry up and get the magic weapon out of him and refine it later. It can still be used. Yang immediately discovered the key point. Golden Dragon was not polite. He went up to him and gave him a slap, and pulled a belt directly from the opponent's body. The demons are really weird. The storage bag is actually made into the shape of a belt, so they are not afraid of being stolen. Jin Long threw the belt on the ground in disgust.